Hi guys, it's Amber from Amber Eats Books. I just wanted to show you my new shelves, a new overview of how I reorganized them. It took me a couple of hours yesterday. A lot of work, but it was worth it. They are now in a more sensible order, at least for me. It might still look kind of out of order for everyone else, but for me at least now I know where everything is and it's grouped accordingly. So I'm going to get a little closer and show you the rest. Starting on my top shelf, I took out all those other boxes and only left two. One of them contains recipes and one of them contains, cards, birthday cards, anniversary cards, and so on that I get from people throughout the year. So I have one box to collect those. I found these cute little Winnie the Pooh bookends from my local Savers. So I thought that they would be adorable to place on either end of all of my children's books that I have. These are all mine. None of these are actually the children's. They stay on my shelf. So I'll just show you those. I have Charlotte's Web, Little Women, Mary Poppins, The Secret Garden, King Arthur. I think I've showed you the majority of these in my book hauls recently. I'll show you the other bookend. And then I was really excited to add these lights. They are actually autumn lights. If you could see, they have a brown wire with orange, yellow, and red lights. So those were super cute. I found them on Amazon and I had to have them. They really just add a charm to these bookshelves that was lacking before. My next set of shelves just has random books on this one. I'm not overly religious, but I do enjoy studying religion, so I have a few religious books there. A couple of them were given to me when my daughter was going through tough times by a few of my family members, so I just keep them on my shelf as a reminder that I had their support. I also have a few books. This Debbie McComber book, the Mary Higgins Clark book, and this Debbie McComber all the way to the right. Those were my grandmother's. They were on her nightstand when she passed, so I was the fortunate one who was able to take them home. One of them is signed. I believe the Mary Higgins Clark book is signed. I really have no interest in reading them, but because they were my grandmother's and she and I shared a love of reading, it's just really special to me to have them on my shelf. And I also have a few sports books, which are my husband's. On the adjacent shelf, I have my set of Game of Thrones and my Dean Koontz Door to December. I also have my little Gobble Till You Wobble sign and my Itty Bitty Nemo. I have my bucket for my bookmarks and my collection of books that I have read and I really love, so I'm keeping them. They're all grouped together. And my pumpkin sitters. I have a whole bunch of them. You'll see them throughout the video. On this shelf, I have my Anger Itty Bitty. He is adorable. I also have my collected works of Anita Shreve that I have not read. I have my Chuck Palahniuk's, which I've read Fight Club, but none of the others, and all of my Jodi Picoult's that I have not read yet. And a little scarecrow statue. On this shelf is all of my to-be-read paperbacks. I have a bunch of them. I have a few more, I think, on another shelf. So these are all part of my TBR, which will probably never, ever get down to nothing because I just cannot stay out of stores and keep buying books. Also on this shelf, I have a little book that I gave to my husband for his birthday, and it was What I Love About Him by me. I have my eyeglasses case, which, because you can't read unless you have glasses on. I also have my Beast and Belle Itty Bitty. I have my two pins, books, and Eat, Sleep, Read, and another pumpkin shelf sitter. On this shelf, I have a bunch of my mass market paperback of Stephen King, which one day they will all be gone and all be replaced, but until that day, there they sit. I also have some of my other ones that are either hardcover or trade paperbacks over here. These are some small paperbacks mixed in. And my little pumpkin, my little cute little pumpkin house. I love that one. I have my Tinkerbell Itty Bitty, my Tinkerbell mug, and another pumpkin up there on my paperbacks. This is another shelf of to be read. It is just a hodgepodge of stuff. Who knows when I'll get around to reading all of them, but for now, here they sit. I also have another pumpkin shelf sitter, a give thanks little placard, and a turkey shelf sitter. As you can tell, I'm really into fall. This shelf is my shelf of what I consider some classics that I own. I also have a It is a book A that I found at Michael's, I think the end of last year. So that was really cute. I have an Ariel and Merida Itty Bitty. I have this Scarecrow, which I just got today, and I left the price tag on. It was only $2 at Goodwill. And another pumpkin shelf sitter. And then behind these itty bitties, this was a set of dictionary thesaurus and computer dictionary that my husband had when he was a teenager. I found them when his parents were selling their house this year, and I decided to keep them and put them on my shelf because I thought it was hilarious that they used to have a pocket computer dictionary with all terms that had to deal with using a computer. I just thought that was so funny, so I had to keep them. On this shelf is some more of my Stephen King collection. I have all of the Dark Tower series right here. I am working my way to try and replace them with all hardcover books, but you know, can only do so much at once, so as I find them I will be replacing them. And I have some more mass market paperbacks there in the background with another pumpkin, a Happy Harvest sign, and my Rainbow Bright Itty Bitty, which is near and dear to me because she was my favorite cartoon when I was little. I adored her, and I was thrilled when Hallmark released the Itty Bitty of her. I just had to have it. This is my YA bookshelf. I have a few other YAs in my TBRs, but they aren't ones that I'm keeping, so I did not include them on the shelf. Once I read them, if I decide to keep them, they will then be placed here. But right now I have the Lunar Chronicles, part of the series. I have 2 of the Mrs. Peregrine's for Home for Peculiar Children books. I have the Gemma Doyle trilogy, and then these 3 books over here, The Book Thief, Looking for Alaska, and The Diviners. I've read those 3 and absolutely adored them. I have read Miss Peregrine's and Hollow City, but I have not gotten the 3rd one yet. Hopefully I'll be getting that when that comes out in paperback. I have my 2 little shelf sitter. I have my pumpkin shelf sitter and my Scarecrow statue over here. It's really cute. These are my kids from a couple of Halloweens ago. My youngest was probably 2 or 3. She's now 6, so this is an old picture, but it's just in my fall stuff, so I put it up every year. It's really adorable. This is a random shelf of cookbooks, a couple of journals and books that people have given me. I just had nowhere else to put them because my bookshelves are in the dining room, right adjacent to the kitchen. I just thought keeping my cookbooks here would probably make the most sense since cabinet space is precious. On this shelf are a bunch of my Stephen King hardbacks and my Minnie and Mickey Itty Bitties, which are adorable. I love them. I think they were the 2nd set of Itty Bitties that I ever received. On this shelf are some more of my TBR books. I also have my 3 Star Wars Itty Bitties, Yoda, R2-D2, and C-3PO. 2 are Christmas. They were on clearance, so I had to buy them. And now is the time of year that we're getting right back around to Christmas, so why not leave them out? This is another shelf of to-be-read books. I've had some of these for quite a while, so I really need to stop going to the library and just start reading some of these books that I have here on my shelves. This is another shelf of my Stephen King hardbacks. I have all of the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, which I just noticed that those are out of order, probably because my kids helped me. So let's fix those. There we go. And a few others. 11/22/63. I can't wait to reread that in November with Crystal the Bookworm. Super excited. And this is my last shelf of to-be-reads. So I have quite a few books that I really need to get to. I have read Big Little Lies, but I put it down here, and After You. I put them down here because they were the only 2 hardcovers that I had already read, and they really did not go well with the books up at the top that were paperbacks that I've already read. So I leave them down here until I get more books and have to rearrange again. Anyways, I would love to see your guys' bookshelf. Let me know what you think. And I hope you guys have a great week and happy reading.